What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami with
Krelika Kane.
And we are talking about Zenkaiger Episode 9.
World Pirates, Pleasant Tokai.
Sure.
That's what the title was.
That sounds too long.
It sounds like a Toku anime Japanese title.
Yeah, and sometimes those are too long.
So this episode basically starts off...
Well, continues where last week left off.
Yes, basically continues where we left off. Where we have Zox, Zenkaiger, and he's being fanboy gushed over by...
Wait, Zox is his actual name?
Zox, yeah. Zox, gold, shit. Shoot. That's the word, shoot.
Gold to shoot?
No. Gold Sukai. Gold Suika.
Gold Sweaker?
Gold Sweaker.
Gold Sucker?
Basically.
Gold Sucker.
It's pronounced Gorudo Suka.
Okay, sure, whatever.
That word.
Zox.
And his sister's name's Flint. But nevertheless...
Why does his name sound like some type of cleanser?
Okay, moving on. So they're talking. I don't want...
What? They're talking?
Can we get on with this?
No. I need to know. Zox? Why is his name Zox?
Because that's what they came up with in the writing room. I can't tell you. I wasn't there in the writing room. If I was there, I would have understood the name Zox.
Well, a Zox on your soul.
Z-O-X.
Yes, a Zox on your soul.
No, it's a pox. But nevertheless, they're talking, and Kaito is trying to get an idea of what's going on, so on and so forth. And basically, Zox says, I'm hungry. Just kind of cutting off all dialogue with, I'm hungry. I was like, okay, pirate, hunger, Luffy.
Well, the Gokaigers also did that in their first episode.
I know. So, we then get to the normal restaurant. We have Zox, his sister, Flint, then Katana, which is the O-Ranger looking mech, the blue one, and Ricky, which is based on...
Are you sure those aren't reversed? Because I thought the Old Ranger one was Ricky because Ricky was the name of King Ranger.
Okay, then maybe I have them reversed. But you have two of them. You have Ricky.
And they look like SD Gundam Sentai mechs.
So
that's all I'm thinking of the entire...
You're right.
Yeah, all I'm thinking of is they're like the SD Gundam.
Well, they're actually called SD Robo. So...
They look terrible.
So the first one for Katana, the red one, that is from Zenkaiger.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that was what mech specifically? Shikano. And then the blue one, Ricky...
Old Ranger Robo.
Is Old Ranger Robo. And so, obviously, those both play a part later in the episode. And, well, the reason why Zenkaiger looks like Zenkaiger is because they were in the Geki Ranger world, or pirate world.
You mean Gokaiger world?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep on saying Geki. Gokaiger world. And
Flint decided to pirate their costumes.
Pretty much. Which, I have to admit, was a brilliant reason for saying we're going to rip off the costume.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. Oh yeah, I just ripped off their suit design.
So Flint, I know she's a relatively new actress, but she actually kind of reminds me of the actress from Double.
Well, apparently the actress, she's actually apparently had auditioned for the last few Sentai series.
She has that personality that works well with it. She reminds me of the actress from Double just because she's extremely extra.
Akko?
Yes, she does. She reminds me of her. And it's kind of hilarious.
Wow, maybe if she starts throwing shoes at people.
Well, that's all I expected. With her attitude, I was like, okay. So apparently they're all a family. So Flint and Zox
How does that happen?
with... Oh my God, we are not getting into this conversation again. You already broke down about Zenkaiger.
Did the SD Gundams, were they like actual people that
They're not SD Gundams.
that got turned into SD Gundams by a magic spell? Or were they actually built as little SD Gundam machines?
They're called SD Robos.
Yeah, SD Gundams.
SD Robos. SD Gundam is a completely different
SD
property.
Robo sounds like something that a hooker robot would get after.
This is for children.
No, it's not. I specifically have it listed as no, this is not for kids on the YouTube thing. So we're good.
Okay. Moving on. Because I feel like I have to constantly say this right now. They eat. And eats. And apparently Gowan is like in love because they're human characters. So, and it kind of fits because earlier in the episode, Vroom's all excited because he's finally met a pirate. Kaito is excited because it's another person who has powers. The only two rangers that actually acknowledge that this might not be the blessing it is Juron and Majine. And when they're in the restaurant, Majine kind of reminded me of Chopper because she's standing in the doorway holding it intent on not going out anywhere. And the way she was kind of holding the door and leading towards inside of the door reminded me of how Chopper hides in One Piece.
Oh, God.
And it was quite hilarious because I'm like, wow, she's like Chopper right now. And Juron is just like, he's the dad of the group, to be honest. He's if in human terms, he would be the whole oldest member of the group.
Well, technically, based on series numbers that they have, he is the oldest of the group.
I know, but still. And so his legitimacy of being like, no, we shouldn't trust this, turns out to be legitimate. Because they eat all the food, including the washima mochi, which there's a point to that later. And then everybody holds out weapons at the Rangers and steals the entire
I like
joint.
how it then cuts to the grandma coming home and she finds them all tied up.
Oh yes, I have to admit it's really 5 against 2 because they're itty bitty things. Katana and Ricky, they're like tiny.
The SD Gundams.
SD Robos, but nevertheless, it's like 5 against 2. But apparently, Zox and Flint are intimidating as all hell. So then they're walking down the street carrying everything, and Kaito runs up to him and says, "You need to pay what you owe." Oh my God, I'm thinking of Boondocks right when I say it like that.
Santa,
Yeah.
you need to pay what you owe.
But,
Dear Santa,
hey, okay,
you are a...
Marcus. I don't care what your online name is. No.
Okay, anyway.
So Kaito says, "Let's have a duel. This is not Yu-Gi-Oh." Apparently, pirate duel versus Kaito duel are 2 different things.
Oh, obviously.
What did you think?
For what?
Their next duel. I still want to know what Kaito was planning.
Oh, Kaito is planning. I'm trying to think because he had a hammer there.
Mm-hmm. And like this blue thing that looked like a stump or something.
I don't know. Wouldn't be. I've played so much Yakuza now. I'm just thinking of all the games in Yakuza that they've been doing, like Koi Koi and.
Well, nevertheless.
Chohan.
So, in the background of all this is going on, we have our monster of the week.
No. Before that, we gotta get to the funny part. When the Emperor slams his hands on repeatedly, everyone's bouncing except Stacy, who's just like, boop, boop. He's like when you see Mario like bouncing like boop, 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 boop.
I know, everybody else is so much more dramatic when bouncing.
And I'm expecting that he's gonna like, here's the edge, because he's like right here, it's like boop, 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 boop. I'm just expecting him to go boop, 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 boop.
But they're all yelling at Ilderud for Ijerud because of Zenkaiger. They're like, how did this happen, dude? What's going on? But apparently Iago knows something.
Oh yeah, because they said them again.
Yes, so Iago, I actually kind of feel like he might be related to the bird from Gokaiger now. And once again, if you're tuning in, I am going to call the bird, no matter what his name is, for the rest of the show, Iago. And if you've never seen Aladdin, shame on you.
The animated one. Or the animated series. Or the other two movies.
Not the live action.
Well, live action was still good, but yeah, Iago doesn't talk in that, so that was pointless.
Yes.
But yeah, I did actually like that scene when it was like, boom, boom, boom. I mean, on one hand, it was hilarious for two different reasons. One, it was hilarious just because he's barely bouncing, but he looks like he's about to bounce off the cliff. But at the same time, just the green screen background looks so bad because of it.
Well, the king is like bouncing, like pounding. He is wailing on the podium thingy.
Because,
Because he's aggravated at Ijerud.
And, well, the other thing is because Stacy's hair does not go well in front of a green screen background.
Well, black hair...
Well, no, I mean the way his hairstyle, because the
edges...
edges...
yeah,
you can see all the... Yeah. So it's just like... Ugh.
So, we get to the duel. Obviously, the rest of the world outside of Kaito is thinking the duel is going to be fighting. Kaito apparently thinks that the duel should be games. Well, Zenkaiger is like, okay. He starts laughing, pulls his gun out and shoots. And I have to give Kaito's actor hella cred. Because there's obviously no gun there. But he still pops up and does almost a full split as though the gun is shooting right between his legs. I have to say the agility of that man was super impressive. When I was that age, and I'm only 27, I never even had that agility. So I'm pretty impressed. So... watching them fight was cool. So the dancing is part of the transformation. Singing is not. So the singing is optional.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I still like the dancing part of it is because once again I like Kyoger, and that is how the transformation.
All I'm thinking of when he does that dancing is that scene from the first It. From chapter 1, when Pennywise shows up in front of Beverly, he does the whole like, it's Pennywise, the dancing clown. He's like,
I love it. So I'm 100% for it. He does sing randomly throughout the episode. He does the yo-ho-hoy, yo-ho-hoy.
As someone said in the comments last week, it's like Brooke from One Piece.
It is. We even talked about that last night at dinner with Silverquill. And funny enough, he's wearing a Brooke t-shirt as we're talking about. Yeah, he reminds us of Brooke. It kind of fits. A singing pirate. Why not? Perfect world.
Someone should cut having him singing. Luffy's like, I want you. Do you poop?
That still bothers me. The fact that Luffy needs to know. But then again, Brooke needs to know other creepier things. So they fight. They're going on and on. In the meantime, the Washimamochi monster apparently has cast a spell that would really only work for Japan, because I never heard of Washimamochi. I've heard of mochi and I've heard of Sakura mochi, but not Washima specifically. Basically, it's mochi with a that has the black bean paste, and it has an oak leaf folding over it, so you eat both the leaf and the mochi.
Ugh.
And he casts a spell, so basically anybody who ate mochi the day before
Or that day.
is automatically going to be craving.
Well, I don't know if it was really just that day in the last 24 hours, because that'd be a lot of people that then just happen to eat it.
It's Japan, you never know. Japan has the coolest and craziest food options known to man. And we have cheeseburgers and pizzas, so that's saying something. Hey, cheeseburger and pizzas are awesome, just not together.
That's what I thought you meant. I'm
No.
cheeseburgers on pizza?
No.
What the hell? I don't know that one.
So, you have everyone going. So, in the group that had eaten this particular mochi was Flint, Majine, and Gaon. So you see Gaon and Majine sitting there watching the fight between two and Zenkaigers, and they're like, ooh, mochi. So they leave the fight, not telling anyone. They go back home to the store, and they're sold out. They then
Go through all the craze.
Then you see Flint in the ship
She
get
gets
the craving. I kind of equate it to potheads. Because when potheads get a craving, it's like mindlessness, like, I must have this. And then nothing else matters outside of having that particular item.
Right. Okay.
It's the same thing with being drunk.
Okay.
You get this craving.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, just take my word for it. And then, so we watch the craziness, and I still have to say my favorite part of that whole craziness is when the scalper of the Washimamochi has this like really intricate box. He goes up to Gaon.
No. You missed something though. Before that, when Juran and Vroom turn around and notice they're gone, then they find out, oh, there's something going on. So then they tell Kaito, and Kaito goes to leave, and Two Kaiser shoots him in the back as he's trying to jump off the cliff.
Two Kaiser is not a team
At
player.
least, and then he's fighting, and then they find out, oh, there's something wrong with your sister, and that suddenly he's like, oh, well, okay, on to business.
So, but the scalper bit was hilarious. So, Gaon is like, I have 2,500 yen, and it's the craziest things they pulls out for the yen. And they're about to make the deal, and Juran just pops out of nowhere and is like, no scalping allowed! And the scalper runs away. Washimamochi monster, or Washimamochi world monster, comes in and said, if you defeat these two Zenkaigers, Vroom
Well,
and
actually,
Juran,
you missed the best line ever, though. Juran. Obviously, that something weird going on was because of a monster.
oh. But he's...
Or something specifically weird.
Oh yeah, something specifically weird. This is a very specifically weird monster.
weird situation.
It is, because this is one of those few episodes, I kind of equate it to like Shinkenger in a way, how there were very specific and tailored things that were just culturally relevant to that localization that Americans don't get it. Because apparently in Japan there's a lot of businesses that sell washimamochi. And I don't understand why. So the monster says, Vroom and Juon, if you defeat them, I will give you washimamochi. So obviously, they run away like a Looney Tunes episode. Everybody follows them. And then we get our singing of the episode. Which, once again, I personally think Zenkaiger can carry into. And he sings, who is this, not verbatim, who is this reckless person who is trying to take advantage of his sister. And then he shoots him. Once again, gun safety does not mean anything to Zenkaiger. And Zenkaiger then tells Kaito, if whoever defeats the monster will win
their duel. And then so Zenkaiger goes running and Zenkaiger just shoots both him and the monster.
Well, and then every time Zenkaiger tries to do anything, Zenkaiger grabs him, moves him out of the way, takes...
Well, I like the one where he pulls him down onto the bench he was on top of. He just boom.
Well, the choreography for that fight was pretty entertaining.
That was pretty cool. And I did like when he did the forms with the O-Ranger form and then the Shinken form.
So, to change into multiple forms, and currently he only has 3. He has his main form, the O-Ranger one, and Shinkenger one. Mm-hmm. So the O-Ranger one, he does different dances for the other 2. And once again, I want this gimmick. I have to say, I like the costume change for Shinkenger more so than I do for O-Ranger.
Well, it's because, I like the O-Ranger one because it has the Egyptian look to it.
Well, and I think that fits with the gold, admittedly.
Well, yeah, but also because the O-Ranger one had the ancient civilization theme. He's got everything looks Egyptian. And it's...
Oh, and the pharaoh tunic type thing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because it's also, because it's based also slightly on the O-Ranger Robo. Mm-hmm. Because with the gold on the sides.
Okay. But I like the dancing that he does for both designs. And I like that he brings them in. And then when he does...
And then with Shinken, although, Shinkenger, he had 2 different voices going on there.
Well, he did for both of them.
Oh, I didn't notice it for
Yeah, so for the first one, it's a merging of him and Ricky.
Right.
You can hear Ricky's voice, and the same thing with Kuttner.
I didn't catch it with the O-Ranger one.
Yeah, so you can hear both voices talking. It
made me think of the fusions in Dragon Ball.
Yes. And so it was pretty entertaining. I think the reason why I like I like Shinkengers is because it reminded me of their powered up form.
Well, it was.
I know, but that's why I liked it in Shinkenger, because I really liked the long...
What do they call it? Daimyo coat?
Yes.
I can't think of what they called it.
But I liked it, and I really liked the design of it. It was nice to know that they're not just there for comedy factor, they're actually a utilization, because they break apart when he puts the coin in, and the SD Robos actually become the costume, so to speak.
And then we had, yet again, another mech battle that felt so out of place.
It did, but I think the purpose of it was to showcase for Zenkaiger.
But it didn't. But he never did the mech stuff. It was just Juran and Gohan.
No, I mean because the way the story development worked, Zenkaiger looked down like, oh, they have a mech. The monster turns big type of thing.
Yeah, but it fell out of place. He could have easily just like shot the gear on the ground and boom, that would have been it.
Well, I think he was about to, and then the foot stomped down.
All I know is it's like, oh, mech battle, yay! This mech battle was pointless.
Well, in the opening song, they slightly fitted Zock's.
Yeah, they put them all in.
They put them all in. But the one downside I have compared to other ending songs is.
You mean opening?
Oh well, either or, opening, ending, what have you, is that it's very limited. I wanted to see him in like the roll call of the lineup for the dancing and everything too. And he really didn't appear yet. So I'm hoping next episode, the opening song will have a little bit more.
Maybe. Or it could be just... That's it. They're not going to add him in because they'd have to redo the whole thing.
Well, usually they do.
No, they don't. The ending songs, it depended on the series. Not all of them added... Because if you remember in Kira Major... They didn't add him into the full...
Oh, that's true.
...group ending theme.
Well, overall, this was a fun, but slightly weaker episode than the last 2 weeks we've had. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but I'm hoping we'll get a little bit more next week and see... Hopefully back to the story. The one big story element that did occur that we didn't talk about is that Flint and Zox did go into the Toji Tendo base because that's how they acquired the gears and the transformation device. So it makes me wonder, because there are specific comments was, oh, did you steal them from did you steal the gears and stuff from Toji Tendo as well? And so when Kaito said, oh, that means you were able to get in there.
Well, I also want to know how they traveled the multiverse.
All I thought of when I heard multiverse was like, oh my god, Marvel, DC.
Well, like, do they have a cosmic treadmill?
No. I bet it's their ship.
Well, obviously it's going to be their ship. But I want to know how they travel the multiverse.
We'll probably
find... And how many worlds have they been to? Like, have they been to the Goanger world? Not the Goanger world, like, universe itself, but the universe the Goanger cars were from. Car world, I guess.
I hope not. Or if they did, that... I don't know. I was going to say something terrible, but I'll keep my mouth shut.
Mm.
But it sounds like every planet they go to, they tend to loot it. So these heroes are not heroes.
Yet.
Well, and I kind of hope that it stays that way for a little while longer. I know you had mentioned yesterday at dinner, you're not a fan of the Sixth Ranger that is like, well, I don't like you, I don't want to be a part of you part of your group type of thing. Because you made mention that that's getting old.
Oh, it's getting very old.
So, while I do want to have that for like a couple more episodes, I don't want it to stay that way.
Well, the problem is, the problem is with that is it only ever lasts a couple of episodes.
Oh, so if it stayed the way...
If it was more of him being his own thing permanent, like him and Flint, they will help them when they need it, but they're not going to officially join the team.
Kind of like in Jew Ranger.
Yeah, or, well, a lot of those. It's like, I don't want them to join the team for at least 20 episodes.
Well, I don't see that happening.
It's just, I'm tired of the, I don't want to be a part of you. I don't want to work with you. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how they are for like 5 episodes. I'm broody. Which, fortunately, he's not broody.
No, he's not broody. I actually love the fact that he
But then again, that's because if Stacy does become a ranger, we've got him for the broodiness.
You're so mean. Nevertheless, I love the singing. I love the dancing. And I like how each dance is different. It's not like the exact same dance for transformation. What?
Nothing.
You're tapping your fingers.
I'm just thinking.
About what?
I don't know.
Input. Share. What did you think of the episode?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know yet. I still don't know. I don't know if I liked it or if I didn't like it. I didn't downright hate it, but I didn't love it. I didn't think it was good as last week's episode, and I most certainly didn't think it was as good as the premiere for Stacy. And I feel like Stacy is now just there. That all his threat has been diminished.
Well, we don't know because Ijarud and Stacy.
I just hope Stacy doesn't become another Zamigo, where he's going to disappear for the next 25 episodes.
Well, that's because Amigo got the actor for him got another job.
But
I agree, though. Overall, I can honestly say that while it's not as great as Kira Major, I'm still enjoying it for the silliness.
Well, that's the problem, though. The silliness is starting to wear out on me. I want to see something be more serious now.
Well, who knows? Now that we have another Ranger, we could potentially get a little more seriousness. Because at least the one thing that did happen in this episode, even if it was very subtle, is there was mention for plot development that there is a way to get the Toja Tendo base, and we still don't know how all these devices are being made. Because Ijarud just made Zenkaiger's device. We don't know. Stacy's device. We don't know how everything else has been made. So hopefully that can lead itself into more story progression.
I just want some monsters of the week that aren't so damn weak.
This one, I would say, by far was the weakest of them all.
He wasn't. He was at least better than the sushi one.
Now, I want to know why they keep on making monsters related to food. Are the writers hungry? Do they need to go out for food? If they need help, please have a character blink twice or knock twice. Something is a sign that we know to help them.
Yes, do you writers need some food? Is that why you're so having all these food-related monsters? Like, ooh, we're hungry. Let's make an episode around that mochi. Let's make an episode around sushi. See, actually, I feel because Two Kaiser's form is gold and he has a Shingenjin form, that would have been the time to have the sushi monster. Sushi monster should have been saved for that guy. Because then they could have played on the whole joke of Genta being turned into Genta being a sushi seller.
You're right.
They should have reversed the two monsters at least and had the sushi monster in this episode and the mochi monster in that terrible episode.
You're scarred by that episode.
Yes, it was a pretty bad episode.
Well, we're still going to commit to this each week because I'm having fun tormenting him. And maybe if supposedly Saber is getting good, we could...
Nope. I am not watching Saber. Nope.
But people say it's getting good.
Nope. I am not sitting through 10 hours just to get to something that might be good.
We did it for Game of Thrones.
No, Game of Thrones started good and then went downhill.
That is true. But
Game of Thrones was like...
yeah, pretty much. However, at the end of the day, for silliness factor, I would recommend still watching it because at least you do get to see some cool transformations. We also got to see Kaito use Denjimon.
Mm-hmm. Even though he didn't get to actually use Denjimon.
Well, no, because Chukaiser was not letting him use it. Which, that's the reason why I liked the fight in the episode. Is because it was very sporadic and well choreographed. It wasn't like, I get my hit, you get your hit. It was like, you try to get your hit, I'm going to keep on pummeling you. It was like you playing a video game. You let them pretend that they're going to attack you, and then you just start wailing on them.
Especially in Yakuza.
I'm thinking of every time you played Mortal Kombat, too.
Okay.
Because you're like the king of overkill. So I think Chukaiser should be your spirit animal.
Overkill. Well, what's the point if you're not going to wreck them and make them weep?
My God, really, Chukaiser is your spirit animal. I do like the fact, kind of similar to Doctor Who, whenever he parked in the sky for some odd reason, you have this like cord that comes down with a foot hook, and it just, he puts his foot on it, and it just pops up back into the sky. I was like, ooh, they're going to the TARDIS.
Yes. Alright, that's all I've really got for this episode.
You haven't participated much in this episode,
Just because I don't really know what to talk about with this episode. Because this episode, I don't know. It just didn't wow me.
They got to hear me talk a lot because you didn't participate.
I did participate. I don't really have anything to talk about this episode. This episode just kind of existed for me. Like I said, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It's kind of like right now just in that limbo of, it's there.
You know what's going to happen, just for the audience's sake? He's going to think about this episode, and when I'm trying to go to bed so I can get up for work tomorrow, he's going to decide at that particular moment in time to tell me exactly what he thought.
No.
Because that's how a relationship typically works.
Whatever. Do the normal spiel.
Well, if you like watching this video, please check out the rest of our Zenkaiger videos, as well as anything else we have on the Kaiju no Kami channel. Also, if you want to follow us, you can check us out on Twitter at Kaiju no Kami, Facebook at Kaiju no Kami, Instagram at Kaiju no Kami, and our website at creativitybydesignllc.com. Also, for YouTube's algorithms, we would really, really, really like you to like us. And if you have not done so, subscribe. And also, tell us in the comments what you thought of the episode, what you think of all of our fun stuff.
Ding.
Oh,
ding.
yes. And something that I might be getting later on this year. Hit the bell notification so you can get alerted the next time we decide to do the couples counseling video on Zenkaiger. In the meantime, please continue to support us. And if you do want to support him monetarily, because it all goes to me to pay rent, so we can eat for another day, check us out on Patreon at Kaiju no Kami. In the meantime, bye!
You were supposed to wait for me to do until next time.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Well, there's no point now, so bye.
Wow! We really do enjoy you, so please come back. I'm needy. This is what I've been dealing with for the last year and a half of the pandemic, so please, please.